They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you know
dogs.
that?
They were
They're
eating the dogs.
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan. We are back. I am on a different laptop, hardwired in, so that intro did not sound right to me at all. Ciarnan, did it sound right to you?
It sounded fine to me.
Okay. My company really should not pay me to do IT because I cannot figure out computers in my home. Like, that's like finding out your marriage counselor is going through a brutal divorce. It's just...
I feel like there's a conflict of interest here.
It's not necessarily a conflict of interest. It's just like, you're that bad at your job. Like, why should I be listening to what you're telling me if you can't apply it in your own life? I think our VP of operations was going to strangle me the other day because I was talking to him. He's like, oh, if you're not worried about this on my phone, then I'm not worried about it. I'm like, you should not listen to me on that. I do not practice good cybersecurity at home. I practice paranoia when it comes to smart devices, but that's about it.
Well, that's one way to do things.
Yeah, I'm going to try switching up my headset real quick. This is great podcasting, I know.
We're in a league of our own, Kev. It might be the 7th division, but it's a league.
Let's see if that goes any better. I don't think it will.
Have you not been hearing what I've been saying?
Barely. This is better though.
Okay. All right.
Progress. I just got a hardwired in. None of this Bluetooth mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, that's proper cybersecurity for all of you wannabe techies. Hardwire is always better.
That's true.
Yep.
That's a very, very.
That's a very valid standard thing that I can say without any rhyme or reason for repercussions.
Oh yeah, no, that's. If you are worried about security, first off, unless you're like working for the CIA or something, you don't need to be that worried about it. But if you are that worried about it, hardwire.
Yep.
Nothing over airwaves. It's a lot better. But people who probably should have been more worried about security, Memphis football came out last week that former defensive back Taj Rael leaked the playbook to UTSA quarterback Owen McCown. That's correct. That is Josh McCown's son. Basically said far leftist coverages of a screenshot. I'll send you a better list showing you the call. You run quarters. None of the safeties can cover. One of them's injured. He's running out of eligibility. Well, UTSA coach Jeff Traylor has come out and said that information had no bearing whatsoever. It didn't make any sense. So Owen was just being nice to his buddy, and Purdue said this has been mischaracterized, which is Taj Rael, obviously not at Memphis anymore. Ciarnan, what were your thoughts on this?
I find it very weird that he would even do this in the first place. I don't know whether the calls helped or didn't or whatever. But you should not be doing this, plain and simple. I don't think it's a matter of if it worked or if it helped the opposing team. You shouldn't be doing this, period. I think that the guy should lose all eligibility, be forced into the draft, and watch his stock tank, because there is no chance any coach in the NFL is going to possibly take a guy who's even being accused of, stealing calls, essentially. So yeah, it's wild.
I would say if accused, a team still might take a late round flyer on a guy, but when you have screenshots of the DMs, no, they're not.
Yeah.
But I think it's even funnier. UTSA's coach coming out and be like, yeah, none of that made any sense. We ignored all of it. I think really is a worse look for Taj over here. Like, if it helped them win, you go, that's terrible. How could he do that? Even though he wasn't with the team anymore, how could he do that? The fact that they got like, yeah, no, it was all useless information about his unit. It is hilarious.
It's very funny. There's no side of this where he comes out better off, and it's just a classic case of shooting yourself in the foot and then being shocked that it happened.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious, and also, I think I'm going to be the first one to come out and say it. This is a Spygate-esque scandal coming out of college football, and I think we're all shocked it is not coming out of Chapel Hill.
There you go. Good one.
We figured they'd be the first ones to do it. But moving on from one group of five conference to another, is Maction announcing a mascot in the coming days? For they tweeted out maybe the greatest graphic I've ever seen. And Ken, I think you shared similar thoughts before we got here. A raccoon in a pirate's outfit. And there is a reply on the right, kind of coming from where this coming from. Someone on YouTube, congrats on your 5-star recruits and $100 million facilities, SEC fans. Meanwhile, the Mac is out here playing real football in front of 14 people and a raccoon on a Tuesday night during a blizzard. You ever see a punter throw a touchdown to a long snapper while the scoreboard's on fire? Didn't think so. And just going on about 6 missed PATs and Maction being superior. Ken, what are your thoughts on this raccoon?
First of all, the raccoon is brilliant. He's got the absolutely right getup for a Maction type mascot, but also going to that what was it, a Reddit thread or something that statement came from. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. Maction is where it's at. We all love seeing, the Power 4 conferences go at it. Those are big games. We don't deny that. They're fun to watch. But having a little bit of football midweek is a soul saver, because your team could have just lost a crushing victory or a crushing defeat to your number one rival. But if you get to see chaos in the MAC, it's just something else.
Oh yeah, no, the Maction's incredible. I think we've been very clear. Our one rule with all this realignment is don't touch our Maction.
Yes,
and I think this is hilarious. It's something a lot of conferences wouldn't do. However, I have two key issues with this.
Okay.
One of your schools has to have a half decent graphic design program. Why are you using AI?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Two, and this is a bigger issue I have, Kieran. I'm about to give you a list of schools. Cal Poly, College of the Desert. That's a Finnish team. Iowa Wesleyan, Valdosta State, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State. Those schools have two things in common, Kieran.
Okay.
Can you tell me what those two things are?
No, not at all.
That is where Mike Leach spent his career, and none of them are in the MAC. This is stolen valor.
I was wondering if we were going to get on to Mike Leach, but yeah, I'm not surprised at all that you were the one to bring it up.
We're always get. I wish I could show it, but we would get copyright strikes. Yeah. I saw the saddest Mike Leach edit on TikTok.
Oh no.
I'll save it and send it to you because I don't think you have a TikTok.
No.
I will download the video and send it to you. I wish I was like, oh, we gotta show this a show, and then there's a Zach Bryan song in the background, and we would get slapped with a copyright strike so fast. So, but it's incredible. So this is stolen valor. I love it. if they didn't do AI, I probably wouldn't care as much about the stolen valor. But if you're
Mhm.
gonna do stolen valor, don't use AI to do it.
I couldn't agree more. But to that end, while fair enough, it is probably stolen valor. It is something that Mike Leach would 100% be on board with. So I think we're going to give them a pass here.
Okay, that's fair. I think if they've got a pirate raccoon as their conference mascot, he might go to a Maction school.
He would. He would. There's no doubt in my mind.
That is fair. But moving on to some other stupid decisions, Ciarnan, going on in college football right now. Michigan and Western Michigan. Both in Michigan. Think about a 90-minute drive from each other was what I saw. They're opening the 2026 season playing against each other, which is great. You love to see
Perfect.
these
Yeah.
big schools playing these smaller schools. Yeah, except they're going to fucking Germany for it.
Jeez. Oh my god. Why?
I can't stand it. Look, the Aer Lingus Classic is cool.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. Don't you dare touch our Aer Lingus Classic.
But you don't have to turn into the NFL where every European country needs their own game.
Right.
I can't wait till the 2027 season when Boston College and Holy Cross kick off in Pyongyang. Which, if they get enough money, the NCAA will do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's so true. That's this whole thing is so ridiculous because it's one thing to ask professionals who get paid millions of dollars, and are fully grown adults and all this stuff to fly over to another country to play a game. I get why the NFL would want to expand into places like Germany. Okay, they've always had a great fan base. They've always they turn out in droves, even to the crap games that we send them. Which props to all the German fans. We do not need this in college football. Leave it alone. Have the Aer Lingus Classic as a little homage or whatever, right? That's fine, right? It's not that far, right? That's the same as going from BC to San Diego or Sacramento. It's give or take 45 minutes to an hour difference, which is now happening anyway in this whole conference realignment thing. But sending them another 2.5 hours to Germany or something like that is utterly ridiculous. And they're right down the road. If you wanted to have BC and UCLA do that, fine, that's one thing. But come on, these kids they're still kids. As much as we say that they're athletes, they're getting paid, all this jazz, they are still kids that are going to a school and they are still getting an education despite all the NIL BS. You can't be having them travel to Germany for a week or two to play a football game and then come back and attend class. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And also, look, the Michigan players, a lot of them don't have to worry about their education. They're probably going to go to the NFL.
Right.
But the Western Michigan players, I understand it's early in the season, but there's some professor that's 100% giving them a quiz week 2 of their school year. And, sorry, Dr. Edwards, I just bombed that quiz. I was in Berlin last night. Had to catch the red eye back to Kalamazoo. I hate it. I hate what college football is becoming and what it's done to our sweet, sweet game.
Yeah, it's how much longer are we doing this podcast if trends continue like this?
The question, I don't know if it's how much longer are we doing this podcast. I can't. I was told I can't make those jokes anymore.
All right, then.
Not long, Ciarnan. Not long at all. The podcast will be ending soon. I think once schools can directly pay players, not in a revenue sharing model, like with salary caps, and it's unrelated to how much money the school brings in, I think that the podcast is done.
Yeah, That's fair.
But I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this. We'll talk about other things I hate about college football, Kieran. Mizzou quarterback Bo Pribula also hates college football's current iteration. While talking about the transfer portal, he said, "I hope it's getting fixed. It's like free agency during the playoffs. It's insane." Bo Pribula, the guy famously transferring from Penn State during the playoffs. Kieran, what were your thoughts on Bo's comments?
Simple. Hypocrite. You don't get to do the thing that you're complaining about and then just go on a rant about whatever the issue is. I understand there were deadlines and things that you had to meet or whatever, but you did it. You don't get to, get one free, get out of jail free card, and then criticize everyone else who has done it or will do it in the future. Just be quiet and let the system sort itself out. I do hope it gets fixed. You don't need to be the one making a comment about it.
I think it's a bad look for him. I'll agree, it does not look good, but I do think it was kind of he's between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
He probably knew that barring a national championship run, Aller was going to be coming back. There were probably already conversations being had about that, and he probably knew that James Franklin was going to mess up somewhere along the way. And Drew Aller then was probably coming back. So he knew he had to transfer. And it sucks. It's a shitty situation to put these kids in. But I don't know if I'd call him a hypocrite. I'd call him a victim of circumstance. As a detached third party, like I'm not as invested in Penn State football as you are, but it sucks. I think him being the one to come out and say it is a bad look, but I don't think he's necessarily to blame.
Oh God, no! I'm not suggesting he's the one to blame. I'm merely stating that the hypocrisy and the fact that it was him that had said it. If it was anybody else, it would be completely fine and a totally normal reaction to maybe a 3-year player who's watching people come in, going, "Oh, I hope it's fixed." It's kind of like I had my shot and it's been taken away by X player. That's one thing, but to be the player that does it. I just don't think he needed to say it. It's as simple as that.
That's fair. I mean, he was probably asked about it, but no, I do agree with you. I don't think he's the one who had to say it. But the problem is, whenever someone brings it up, nobody listens to them. They're just complaining because they can't adapt.
Mm.
You saw it with Nick Saban the last couple of years of his career. Everyone's like, no, you're just complaining because you don't have this advantage anymore. They're starting to do it with guys like Kirby Smart now. It's, oh, no, you just don't want players to get paid. You think the game's already passing you by until your favorite player leaves in the middle of the playoffs for more money from another program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe these coaches, the good ones, know what they're talking about, and we should listen to what they have to say. Maybe instead of being a little bitch about everything. Just a thought. But moving on to some more NIL stuff. I had this later on, but Donald Trump has signed an executive order prohibiting third-party pay-for-play payments to student athletes. And as with most things our government does, Kieran, this was already against the rules. The NCAA has already said you cannot pay players outside of the revenue sharing model to play. So this is, again, just lip service, said, look, we're doing something. So college football fans will get excited. It's not impacting anything. It's already against the rules. If people are already breaking the rules, they're going to continue breaking the rules. Anyone breaking the rules is rich. So if they get in trouble for this, they will just pay a fine or hire a very expensive lawyer and get off scot-free.
Yeah, it's so aggravating because think whatever you want about the current state of U.S. politics, but it's just like We don't need it. Like, it's completely irrelevant to the current scheme of college football. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't hurt anyone. It's just a pointless thing to get your name in the news, and just stay out of it. Let whatever legal crap in the background, let it happen itself, okay? It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I mean, not to get into the current administration, because it's not a political podcast. I think there's more important things to worry about. That
Yes, that's the other thing.
something the NCAA has already said is against the rules.
Yes.
So
There are bigger things going on in the world than college football. Yes, it's the life of this podcast, but it shouldn't be the life of an entire government.
no, it really should. I mean, look, he talked about making a college football committee and putting Nick Saban in charge of that. Fine. That's okay. Don't
Yeah.
have actual people whose job it is to run this country worry about this stuff. It's unnecessary.
Oh, God.
But before we get on to the ACC, Dion announced he was last week that he was going to be having a podcast this week. A lot of speculation that he was going to step down because his sons are gone now. Just came out, said he was found to have bladder cancer. Surgery cleared it up, and he is cancer free. So,
Cool.
Congrats to Dion. Good for him.
Never
We
fun.
have given thoughts on him, but always good to see some happy news in college football.
It's not all dreariness.
Yeah, exactly. Now onto some beef here.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Castellanos, who I have ranted and just ranted about this offseason, has beef with his former college coach, Bill O'Brien. I know Bill O'Brien having beef with players is shocking. Castellanos has kind of come out and said BC pushed him out. It wasn't his fault. They're kind of arguing that he quit just to make themselves look better. Bill O'Brien said Tommy can think what he wants. We supported the hell out of him. We coached him. We taught him. I wish him the best. We went with Grayson James. We told him the team needs you. Come back and compete win your job. It's called life. Deal with adversity. He's fine. It worked out well. I wish him the best. Castellanos said, whatever O'Brien said or is out there, he got benched or he quit. That's not true. Only people in that room know what went down. Legally and personally know the story. Kid, what did you think about these comments from former player and coach?
I'll be honest, I was really, frankly, weirded out by Castellanos' comments. It's like only the people in that room know went down legally and personally. What legal thing? What happened? What did you do? What did they do? That's not a legal issue. That's just a personal or even business issue. No legality has been breached in that sort of well, you can compete for your job or you can go somewhere else. That's that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Thomas Castellanos. I've made that clear. I've also made clear I don't like Bill O'Brien.
Very true.
So I think they're both in the wrong. That's what I'm going to say. Like, they both are dicks, and they're both wrong. Bill O'Brien has had his issues with players. I think he compared DeAndre Hopkins to Aaron Hernandez while in Houston, which
Not
is a
great.
wild comparison to make.
Not
Unless
great.
you actively see someone committing a serious crime, maybe don't make that comparison. But also, Thomas Castellanos annoyed me with his comments about Alabama. So I think they're both wrong. I think they both just need to get into a room, close the door, and just hug it out.
Also, to the fact that, frankly, by the sounds of it, I don't think Bill O'Brien cares. I literally don't think he cares enough about what Castellanos says. It's just one of those things like, yeah, okay, sure, he said it, whatever. I've not paid attention to him since he left, right? We're focused on the next upcoming season, new quarterback, or not the new quarterback, but quarterback that we've decided to go with, and that's the end of it. So a kind of a low-key shout out to Bill O'Brien for just not caring.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't disagree. I think Bill O'Brien shouldn't care either. I mean, he is a successful coach.
Yes. Despite everything, he actually is a quite successful coach. I feel like he's he's always on the dip of teams as they're like peak hitting the bottom, and he kind of like changes it around and turns the trajectory up and then gets fired the minute good things start to happen to a particular program. uh and then he gets fired for whatever X reason. So he's great at building teams back up. I mean, I don't know if BC necessarily is like that in this situation, but like historically he is.
I I think I view him and James Franklin similarly. I think James Franklin's a little better than him, but they're both
Mhm.
guys. You can put them in, they'll work on the culture, they'll get the, and I know Bill O'Brien did precede James Franklin at Penn State,
Yeah.
but they will get you to a point, but that is the farthest they will get you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, so but Bill O'Brien, successful coach across different levels. So just not a successful GM, which is probably why he's back in college. But moving on to some other ACC news, Rhett Lashley, SMU's coach. We talked about this last week. He talked about how the SEC is top heavy. There is not a lot of depth. The same six schools have won since 1960. He clarified those comments, and with all I said was a comment, and unfortunately, it's a factual comment that the same six schools have won that league for the last 60 years. He said on the Paul Feinbaum show, it's just hard to argue parity if that's the case. Now, look, I'm not necessarily saying the ACC is better or worse. I think the SEC is, again, a league I respect. It's done a lot of great things, but we live in a day and age where, unfortunately, we're all forced to politic, almost like it's a contest or pageant to get into the playoffs and certain things. And when that's the case, and one league is considered to maybe need preferential treatment for bids because of their depth, we've got to at least look at the facts. Uh, Karen, what were your thoughts on Rhett's clarification of his comments?
First of all, I'd like to thank Rhett Lashley for at least standing up to a comment that he made. No, we see too often in this league that people back down or retract things that they have stated. But good on you. I mean, technically, yes, that is a factual statement. If you want to debate whether it's parity in the SEC or not, you can have that conversation all day. So props to you, Lashley, for doing that. I will add to that is that he did kind of distance himself from Signetti's comments that an 8-game conference is like coward's way out type thing, which is absolutely hilarious because when you have two coaches that are complaining about the not Signetti exactly, but Rhett Lashley complaining about the automatic bids thing, and then he's like, yeah, I'm all for factual statements and all like that, but like I'm gonna distance myself from Signetti now. That was the right thing to get a lot of people on his side because he's just like, look, I'm not dealing with that mess.
I mean, I'll disagree with him on how many. Like, it's not six, it's seven or eight, which is about half the conference as it stands today. However, saying like it's close enough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get pissed at him for bringing this up. And yes, distancing from what Signetti said is 100% the right move because Signetti just looks like a bitch.
Yeah, he does.
Rhett Lashley can go, well, really, it's 7 teams. Okay, he's one off. It's close enough.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Like no one's gonna hold that over to you, but like sticking to your guns, that's much better.
Yeah, he stuck to his guns, which you have to respect without being a dick.
Yeah,
And
courteous enough to make it worthwhile. Well, Signetti looks like a dick.
yeah, if SMU loses a game they should win easily, I'm not going to dance on his grave.
Yeah.
If Signetti loses to Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, oh, I was looking for other non-conference games. They don't have any. It's just those 3. I hope he loses to all of them. I hate Kurt Signetti. I hate Indiana football, and they suck. But moving on to the last bit, the ACC win totals Once again, we've done this last few weeks. We're going to give the win totals, the opponents, and we're going to pick over under. Ciarnan, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
All right, first up, Boston College over under 5.5. They're playing Fordham at Stanford, Cal, UConn, Georgia Tech, at Michigan State, at Pitt, Clemson, at Louisville, Notre Dame, SMU, and at Syracuse. Ciarnan, over under 5.5.
I was talking up BillO'Brien quite a lot before this topic, so I'm going to give them over 5.5 wins. I think with Grayson James, at quarterback, and Nick Castellanos not polluting that locker room, I think BillO'Brien will have enough to at least get over the 5.5 win mark. Give me the over.
I wish I had. And there's a drive into deep left field ready. Because I don't know if you did that intentionally.
No.
Okay.
But it is funny.
Yeah, I agree, though. I do think 7-8 wins is your floor with BillO'Brien. Regardless of the situation, you could have essentially the death penalty, and he will get you to 7 wins.
Yeah, it's wild what he can do.
Yeah, so give me the over. Next up, the Calgorithm over under at 6.5 at Oregon State, Texas Southern, at San Diego State, Duke, UNC, Virginia, at Stanford, Minnesota, at Boston College, at Virginia Tech, at Louisville, and SMU. Give me the under.
Yeah, they're right at that line. It's a good line because I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's the under. It's the under, but it's close. It's real close. We're talking like a 3-point game here.
Yeah, they're going to be like a 6-win team, and that game that could be their 7th win, they're going to lose by 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Brian Harsin is there now, and I don't trust Brian Harsin. I was going to make a joke about sleeping with assistants, which I didn't do, Ciarnan.
We are maturing on this podcast.
It's called growth and development. Next up, Little Old Clemson. Over under 9.5 wins. They're playing LSU, Troy, at Georgia Tech, Syracuse, at North Carolina, at Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State, Furman, at Louisville, and out at South Carolina. Ciarnan, over under 9.5.
I think they lose to LSU and SMU. I'm going to go with the under.
That's fair. I don't know. I could see them losing to LSU. I could see them losing to SMU. I could see them losing to Boston College. Maybe Boston College. It's a bit of a stretch, I will admit. UNC maybe, depends how Bill does in Chapel Hill. Louisville, I'm not sure. South Carolina, probably. I could see them going under. But also, Clemson has not had fewer than... They've had fewer than 10 wins once since 2011, and that was 2 years ago. They went 9-4. Give me the over.
Dabo still got it.
Yeah, Tyler from Spartanburg is pissed. I don't think Dabo still got it. I don't think Clemson fans are going to be happy. I think he is going to struggle to these 10 wins.
Yeah.
Next up, Duke over under 6.5. They're playing Elon at Tulane, NC State, Georgia Tech at UConn, Virginia, Wake Forest, Illinois at Syracuse, at Cal, at Clemson, and at UNC. Give me the under. It's Duke football.
Yeah. Unfortunately, while the wins at Elon and Tulane and Georgia Tech might come easy, the rest certainly won't. And frankly, you're a basketball school, not a football school. That's it. Under.
Yep. Next up, Florida State over under 7.5. They're playing East Texas A&M, Kent State at Virginia, Pitt at Stanford, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech at NC State, Alabama, which Thomas Castellanos did guarantee a win at, Miami at Clemson, and at Florida. They'd better hope that they get over. I think it's going to be under.
Yeah, me too. I'm rooting for the under. I don't even have a reason to root for the under. I just want to see it happen. It would be so funny. So yes, give me the under.
I don't see a situation where they go from 2-10 to bowl eligibility without much of a change.
Yeah.
They should have gotten rid of Norvell.
Yeah.
Next up, Georgia Tech over under 7.5. They're playing at Colorado, Gardner Webb, Temple at Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Pitt, Clemson at Duke, NC State at Boston College, and Georgia. Over under 7.5. Ciarnan, where are you leaning with Georgia Tech?
Give me under 7.5 wins, but they will be bowl eligible.
That's fair. I was going to go with the over, actually. Right. Brent Key has made Georgia Tech respectable.
Fair enough.
Next up, Louisville over under 8.5. They're playing Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green at Pitt, Virginia, Boston College, Cal, Clemson at SMU, at Miami, at Virginia Tech, and Kentucky. I think I'm going to take the under.
Okay. All right.
Only barely.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bowling Green is dangerous. We saw what they did to Penn State, a playoff team last year. James Madison's always tough. Pitt looking to have a bounce back year after a couple down years. Boston College, we just said how great BillO'Brien is. The algorithm's going to get you. Clemson, little Clemson's always sneaking around. SMU playoff team at Miami, at Virginia Tech, tough. Kentucky is going to Kentucky. They'll probably win that one.
Yeah, I would say if Kentucky was, if they were at Kentucky, I would say that would probably be a loss. But given that it's home, I feel like Louisville would probably win that. I really want to. I don't think I want to take the over. I think there are winnable games in their schedule. I think they'll get to at least 7 wins. It'll be a stretch to get that 8th, and then it's the under again. It's the under, but barely. It's one of those things where they'll either come out firing red hot start of the game and then completely fall off the face of the earth in the second half and lose on something stupid. Not because that's historically what Louisville does. It's just going to be one of those situations where the line is really, really well set. Because you're like, I can see 8 wins or 9 wins happening, but like, it has that certain feeling about it that they're going to just collapse at the wrong moment.
That's fair. Yeah, I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll be good. I don't think they're going to die, but I think under is a pretty safe bet. Next up, Miami over under 8.5. They're playing Bethune-Cookman, USF, Florida State, Louisville, Stanford, Syracuse, NC State, at Virginia Tech, at Pitt, Notre Dame, Florida, and at SMU. Give me the under. Carson Beck is such a massive step back at the quarterback position from Cam Ward. He's loosey-goosey with the football. He's not going to... He did fine at Georgia. They had success with him there. That was a much better team. He did not elevate that team to the point of winning a national championship. He was elevated by the team around him. Georgia is a much better coached and built football team than Miami and Mario Cristobal, so give me the under.
Yeah, the only reason Miami will get the over this year is if Carson Beck is protected for 4 to 5 minutes each play in the pocket. That's literally the only reason that will work, which is nigh on impossible. I don't doubt Mario Cristobal's coaching ability, but Carson Beck is not the guy that you want at the line of scrimmage. Get anyone else, frankly. So unfortunately, Jared, it's going to be the under.
I very much doubt Mario Cristobal's coaching ability. He
Okay,
lost the
fair enough.
game being up by 4 with 20 seconds left because he refused to kneel the football.
Yeah, okay. I grant you that. But generally speaking, he's a pretty okay coach. Whatever. It's one slip up. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine.
It's not fine for Miami fans, but that's okay. Next up, the UNC Child Brides over under 7.5 wins. They're playing Charlotte, Richmond at UCF, Virginia at Syracuse, Stanford at Wake Forest, Duke, TCU, Clemson at Cal, and at NC State. Give me the over. I say what you want about his personal life. If Bill Belichick's there, I'm going to pick him to succeed.
Yeah. I was frankly hoping you'd pick the under so that we would be counter on this one, but you're 100% right. The over 7.5 wins, I think he probably over maybe 8-9 wins would be approachable for him, is going to shed a lot of doubt on his either personal life or his ability to coach, and he's going to kind of rein in the parade that's been going on around him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're going to necessarily push for a national championship, but I think they will push. They'll push for a playoff spot this year.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Next up, NC State over under 6.5. They're playing ECU, Virginia at Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Campbell, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, at Duke, at Notre Dame, at Pitt, at Miami, and Florida State. Ciarnan, over under 6.5.
NC State has kind of taken a step back since a couple of years ago. I don't think they necessarily have the offensive weapons to really stand out. So give me the under at 6 wins. They're just going to scrape bowl eligibility, but yeah, give me the under.
Ciarnan,
Yeah.
I just realized the greatest thing ever.
What?
I can see the Campbell Fighting Camels in person.
You can?
Yeah, they're playing at URI this year.
Oh, dope. You have to go.
I have to go. It's a Friday at 6. I'm going.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's perfect.
100%. I gotta get some Camels merch too. I'll look after the show. Give me the over. NC State's always just competitive. I'm sorry, Kieran, if that was the same thing you just said. I was distracted
No, I said
by
the exact
Campbell
opposite.
fighting. Okay, cool. Sorry, the Campbell Fighting Camels is just a great name in college football.
It is.
Next up, Pitt Panthers over under 5.5. They're playing Duquesne, Central Michigan at West Virginia, Boston College, NC State at Stanford, Louisville at Florida State at Syracuse, Notre Dame at Georgia Tech, and Miami. They started last year 7-0. They had 6 straight losses. I don't think Narduzzi is going to fall off too much, though. I think over 5.5.
Yeah, convincingly over 5.5. I have no doubt that the only reason they're going to lose games is if they go south and they're playing away. That's the only reason they lose this year, apart from maybe Notre Dame. But anything else? So at Florida State is, I could see as a loss. The Syracuse game, the past couple of years has been electric. If you guys have not watched Pitt Syracuse play each other, it's sort of this weird. I don't know if it's a historical rivalry necessarily, but it has certainly bubbled up in the last few years, and they have been going at it each time they play. So that is always a fun one to watch. I don't know who's gonna. That's one of those games that you don't that can go either way. Doesn't matter how that team is doing; it'll fluctuate. But I can see legitimate wins at Louisville, or excuse me, against Louisville. I can see a win at Florida if they're just starting off terrible again. Notre Dame is certainly going to be a challenge. Georgia Tech, I think Pitt would win that, frankly. And Miami going up to Pitt. Give me Pitt.
That's fair. All right, we're in agreement a lot.
That's okay.
Also, I did not.
Reasons to be in agreement.
That's true. I also forgot about Rich Rod's first season back in West Virginia. That might make it the under. Also, Campbell Fighting Camel merch is electric.
Put up on screen.
If anyone I wouldn't say it's incredible if you weren't a weirdo like me, obsessed with the fact it's the Fighting Camels.
No, that's that actually pretty nice. That's actually
kind of cool. I saw one. Oh, the polo.
That is pretty nice.
I don't like the CU. I think the black with the camel.
Yeah, that's
works. Nice. I saw Nobody's from Nowhere.
That's a great shirt.
That's awesome. That's getting open. I know what I'm asking for my birthday.
This is what I'm going to ask Santa for Christmas.
I do like the orange with the Campbell kind of arched across.
Yeah, that is cool.
I saw one online. It's like the C in the CU and the Camels like walking through it. It's really cool, but
there it is. This one. That's pretty cool, yeah. For all of those listeners in the podcast, go check out the YouTube where you can watch us scroll through their merch.
This is the greatest sweatshirt I've ever seen.
It's classy.
I didn't mean to. That's so cool. Yeah, so check out the YouTube on Belly of Sports and also follow Belly of Sports wherever. We're going to stop going through Campbell Fighting Camels merch and go back to the ACC preview, but that was very important for us to go through. I know what Kieran's getting for his wedding. Moving on to SMU over under 8.5. They're playing East Texas A&M, Missouri State at TCU, Syracuse, Stanford at Wake Forest, Miami at Boston College, at Cal, Baylor at Clemson, and Louisville. Ciarnan, over under 8.5.
I see no reason why we can't expect SMU back in the playoffs next year. Give me the over.
That's fair. I'm also going to take the over because Rhett Lashley didn't piss me off this week. So, congrats.
You get a pass this week, but it can change at a moment's notice.
Remember, over-respecting is the same thing as disrespecting. Next up, Stanford. My, how the mighty have fallen. Over under 3.5 wins. They're playing at Hawaii, San Jose State, at BYU, Boston College, at Virginia, at SMU, Florida State, at Miami, Pitt, at UNC, Cal, and Notre Dame. Ciarnan, over under 3.5.
Is this one of the lowest ones we've had? 3.5. Certainly feels
at least for the ACC it is.
Well, yeah. Sorry guys, I'm going with the under. It's rough.
I'm going with the over. I think Andrew Luck and Frank Reich will right the ship.
All right.
And get them to like 4 or 5 wins. But
we'll see what happens.
I also think it's inherently a lot easier to go from college if you were or to go from NFL to college than college to NFL.
In terms of coaching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Because in college, you'd be like, I'm an adult, guys. And in the NFL, you try to be like, so are we. I get paid 4 times what you do, buddy. Mm-hmm. Which now college players can say that too, except college coaches get paid a lot. Next up, Syracuse over under 5.5. They're playing UConn, Colgate, Duke, Pitt, Boston College, Tennessee, at Clemson, at SMU, at Georgia Tech, UNC, at Miami, and at Notre Dame. I'm going to take the over. I think the loss of Kyle McCord and some of their pass catchers last year will hurt them. But Fran Brown had that team winning 10 games last year. I don't expect the drop off to be by half.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I can't. There's nothing has happened with Syracuse that is so detrimental that they are going to only win 5 games. That seems like that would be a ridiculous drop off. So there's no reason why they are not going to maybe not be challenging for a playoff spot, but certainly bowl eligible. Give me the over.
Yeah, that'd be a second worst drop off we've seen the past 2 years behind Florida State's. Next up, Virginia Cavaliers over under 5.5. They're playing Coastal Carolina, William and Mary, Stanford, Washington State, at NC State, Florida State, at Louisville, at North Carolina, at Cal, Wake Forest, at Duke, and Virginia Tech. Ciarnan over under 5.5 for the Cavs.
Oh man, I'm a little bit torn with this. This is another really solid line at 5.5. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say they get the over.
I don't see why Virginia in the last few years deserve the benefit of the doubt. Give me the under.
All right. Short and sweet.
Next up, the Hokies. Over under 6.5. They're playing Old Dominion, Wofford, Wake Forest, Cal, Louisville, at Virginia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, at NC State, at Georgia Tech, at Florida State, and Miami. I am also going to take the under for Virginia Tech. I think Virginia is James Madison State, and the rest of them are just pretending. So, and also that's outside of Old Dominion, Wofford, and Wake Forest. That Loki is a brutal schedule.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's looking like an under at 6.5. I can't. That it just looks rough. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like it's one of those things that either something drastic needs to change with them, or they need to hit the portal harder or recruit better. I don't know what it is, but under 6.5.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago, I feel like the schedule would have been a cakewalk for most teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wake Forest is never good. Cal wasn't good. Louisville was pretty good. Virginia was terrible. South Carolina wasn't good. Vanderbilt was never good. And Georgia Tech was also terrible. So, sucks, bad timing. But moving on to our last school, Ciarnan,
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest. Over under 4.5. They're playing Kennesaw State, Western Carolina, Delaware, at Oregon State, at Virginia, NC State, Georgia Tech, at Virginia Tech, SMU, at Florida State, North Carolina, and at Duke. Over under 4.5. Ciarnan, where are you at?
Give me the over. Why not? I think that there are it's one of those things that they didn't necessarily have the best of years last year, but it certainly wasn't their worst. So I am confident that they can get 5 wins out of this. So give me the over.
I feel like I'm gonna have to go with the under. It's new coach, new players, some of them, and also none of those schools in their schedule, Ciarnan, were name dropped in a Steely Dan song for sucking at football, which the Wake Forest Demon Deacons have been. So give me the under for eternity, and rip Wake Forest fans.
Sorry, guys.
That's fair. I'm not, but
I know you're not.
Sorry. I mean, I feel sorry for you, but I'm not sorry for the things I say. But that is it. That's our show for this week, Ciarnan. Do you have anything else? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Football as a whole, as a sport, officially starts tomorrow. Get ready for a really lame Thursday night preseason game, but still, hey, it's back. Other than that, it's so close. You can almost taste it. Just a couple more weeks, guys, and we'll be right there. Let's go.
So close. All right. That's really what my final thoughts would be. Everyone have a good, safe, fun weekend. Make good choices and stay hydrated.
Very important. See ya.
They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
Do you know
dogs.
that?
They were
They're
eating the dog.
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.